Welcome back to a very special episode of the Idle Talk podcast. This week we are doing something different. We're going to be breaking down each tribe, giving kind of our first impressions of each contestant on the show this season, looking at their bios. We've watched each of their little introduction videos, and then we're going to be drafting each contestant, splitting them up into two new tribes that they have not consented to be a part of. One that'll be my tribe, one that will be Jacob's tribe. And then throughout the season, as they're eliminated, we are going to be basically rooting for our respective tribes. And at the end of the season, we're hoping that the winner is on our tribe. And so we're going off based off of nothing at all. We don't know anything more than anyone else at this point in the game because the game has not yet started. We're going purely based off of vibes, superficial first impressions, and based off of what we've seen in past seasons. There's information out there about each of these survivors, and I don't know exactly when this little episode's going to come out, but it'll be before this season premieres on February 28th. It's going to be a 2-hour premiere at 8 p.m. Eastern. Are you ready to get into it, Jacob? Let's run through all of the survivors and just talk about each of them, introduce them to everyone. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. So our first castaway of season 46 is Jamila Gem. She goes by Gem on the island. She is 32, from Guyana, currently lives in Chicago. She is an international brand mentor. And what were your first impressions of her? You actually took notes from these videos.
Yeah,
so
I have notes on every single person.
You wrote down notes. I made a PowerPoint. So I'm going to defer to your notes, and then I will supply additional commentary.
So I didn't have a lot of good notes for her. My initial notes for her were, can't really get a vibe about how she's going to play, might be an early vote. So
okay.
She just kind of struck me as I just didn't really get a lot of sustenance for her in terms of how I felt that she was going to play the game. Just more got kind of who she is as a person, but couldn't really catch a vibe on how I thought she was going to play. So I hope she proves me wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah, it was more of just a cool. We met her, got a taste of her personality. And it was really, it's just a personality spotlight. There was not a lot of getting a sense of what her gameplay could look like. And each of these snippets that we got were, 60-second ad spots, right? I think they were, 60-second ad spots. They were very quick. There's not a lot that you can show there. Some of these people that we'll come across here in a minute, you can see how their gameplay, you could kind of see how their gameplay kind of comes across in their personality, and you could make a case for them maybe potentially doing well or poorly in the game. And this is all totally speculative and super unserious. It's
it's extremely superficial.
Yeah, this would be like evaluating a college football prospect when they're in elementary school, but they've never stepped on the football field. You've never seen them play. Nothing. It's way too early to tell. All you've seen is this short 30-second clip of them talking. You just get this little video. We've got nothing to go on. It's enough for us to have a little bit of an idea, enough to decide if we want them on our team or not. So we're doing a little schoolyard draft. We do know her hobbies are binging TV, working out, and driving. So she does like working out. That gives us a bit of an indication as to challenges and where she's going to lie in that.
I think if she makes it post-merge, I think she'll be one of those people to do really well in outlasting challenges and endurance challenges.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that she will be pretty strong in physical, in endurance challenges. I could see that for sure. All right, let's move on. Next, we have Ben Katzman. Ben is 31, from Miami, Florida. He was born and raised there and is currently living there. He is a musician and he enjoys playing guitar, doodling, and, quote, chilling hard at the beach. I don't know how one chills hard, but he looks like a guy who chills very hard.
His job is just beach.
Yes, his job is beach, like all the other kins. If you are not watching the video of this, he in his little video, he wears overalls, and how would you describe it? It is a black and white vertically striped, kind of like a referee uniform polo shirt with I can't
They
tell
look
if
like
it's
jean.
is
It looks like denim.
octopus?
An octopus?
It looks like octopi.
I can't really tell that.
I don't know. He looks eccentric.
With denim overalls, not like corduroy
Yes.
overalls.
Yes,
denim
yeah,
overalls.
yeah, denim overall. He looks like a character for sure. Looks like he's going to be a very interesting personality on the show. I'm interested to see what your notes here are on Ben Katzman.
My notes say that I think he's going to annoy people with his singing. And then I said basic rocker dude. So I honestly don't think he's going to do amazing, if I'm being completely honest. I think he might be someone who people just don't vibe with.
I could see that. I think that it goes one of two ways. It is totally going to depend on the personality of his tribe mates, and we'll kind of get to tribe composition later, and we're just going to have to see how it gels in those first couple of episodes. If they are a tribe of people who really like music, I think it's going to be a wonderful match made in heaven. If it's a tribe of people who do not, I don't know if he's going to be able to contain the music within, and I don't know how that's going to fare on the island. And I think that could lead to troubles down the line. I could just kind of see that being a point of contention. He doesn't strike me just at face value as a particularly strong challenge threat, but again, in Survivor, you can't ever take anyone at face value, so that's never something that I try to do too much. But he does seem like someone who is incredibly energetic and very sociable, and so that goes a long way in Survivor. Next, we have Jess Chong. She is 37. She is from Toronto and Hong Kong. She currently resides in San Francisco. She is a software engineer. She wrote quite a lot.
Has a lot of hobbies. Sewing.
Well, she has 3 hobbies. Like everyone was supposed to submit 3, but she just wrote a lot
about those 3.
For the binge watching, she elaborated quite a bit. She said binge watching 80% of a TV show, panicking about where the time has gone, and then reading recaps of the remaining 20% of the show online, but she doesn't do that with Survivor. So, which honestly, that's kind of a fair, like I know a lot of people do that, but she wanted to be very specific about her binge watching shows. But anyways, yes, she's a software engineer, and she likes biking around San Francisco and sewing her own clothes. What are your notes on Jess? I know we already kind of talked about what your thoughts were on Jess.
I think she's either going to be an extremely early vote or she's going to go really, really deep in the game. She seems cool. I think she talks a lot, which could be potentially her downfall if she, because in Survivor you gotta know when to not say stuff. So I think she could make it pretty far. I think she has potential. I think she has good potential, but I think she could also be an extremely early vote if she doesn't play her cards right.
My first impressions, I really like Jess, just based off of vibes. I think she seems very smart, and I also think she seems like she seems strategic, but she seems like one of those players that is able to probably walk that line of playing strategy and emotion, kind of in the way she was talking about looking up to Gabby as a player from David versus Goliath. So I think that the way she plays the game could be interesting, but I could see if she plays her cards incorrectly, people could get scared early and make her a blindside target early on. That's something that I could see happening. I don't she doesn't give me the vibe of being someone that like people are annoyed of early and then voting out, but I could see people seeing her as a threat early and voting her out. But I also could see her forming strong alliances and making her run deep. It kind of just depends on the tribe composition.
I think if she was going to get voted out early, it would be because she was like talking to everyone and that scared people. That's like the vibe that I get.
Yeah. Cool. Up next we have Banu. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm going to go with Gopal. I apologize, Banu, if I mispronounced that. He is 41 years old. He is from India. I am not even going to try to pronounce the name of the town where he is from. And he currently lives in Acton, Massachusetts. He has decided to not live in places that I can pronounce confidently. He is an IT quality analyst, and his hobbies include dancing, swimming, and yoga, and he describes himself as an energetic, disciplined, and passionate person. What are your thoughts on Banu?
So after watching, my first immediate thoughts was I was really happy that he's not like a super fan. He said that he got involved in Survivor like in Cagayan, and so he's not one of those. He doesn't strike me as one of those people who like he's like super gung-ho, like he likes Survivor and watches it, but isn't necessarily like a diehard fan, which I liked. And then my vibes were I thought he might struggle a little strategically. He didn't strike me as a super big strategist, but those were kind of my initial thoughts and vibes from him.
He strikes me as a old school player-ish, like kind of is going to approach it in a more old school-ish way. I say ish because you can't really play old school in today's game, but I think he's going to play it a little bit more old school because he's not a quote unquote super fan. But I think he's going to be strong in challenges is the vibe I get. And I think that he has a good personality. So I don't think he needs to be a strong, I don't think he needs to be like a strategic mastermind to do well in the game. But I think he has a good personality that people are going to naturally gravitate towards him and want to include him in alliances. And so I think you can never predict how things are going to play out on the island. But if things go well for him, I think he could find himself in alliances and find himself in good positions where if his tribe is winning, he's in good spots and could be in good alliances. I like him. I liked his story. I liked his personality. He seems like a cool guy. And he seemed very centered, which is so funny because he's talking about like how he likes yoga and all this sort of stuff. But he does seem like a very just like he's got his stuff together. He had that sort of presence about him where he just seems like he knows what he's doing, which is something you don't see a lot on Survivor, where people just kind of have it together. Yeah, he's an interesting character, and he feels very different from a lot of people that I've seen on past seasons. Next, we have Kinsey Petty. She is 29 years old from Gibraltar, Michigan. She currently resides in Charlotte, North Carolina. She is a salon owner, and she enjoys jigsaw puzzles, fantasy romance novels, and playing cards. She describes herself as positive, creative, and perseverant. What are your thoughts on Kinsey?
So my initial vibes were she seems like a Carolyn archetype. That's the kind of a little bit of a vibe that I got from her.
Really?
I don't know what it is. Just something about it just kind of struck me as that.
Tattoos?
I don't know.
I didn't get those tattoos. Vibes at all, but it's really interesting.
But the big thing that I thought was she really seems like she could be a strategic underdog and kind of fly under the radar, but make moves, and people don't necessarily like kind of realize it. So I think that's the way she's going to play, is kind of like a more low key game, but if she makes it to the end, she'll have like a really good story of like all the moves that she did like in secret.
Yeah, I don't see the similarity that you see with Carolyn other than the tattoos. Personally, I don't see any other similarities there. I just think the personalities feel really different, but she seems like a strong strategy player. I think for sure. She seems like a strategic player. The question's going to be, can she be a strategic player without anyone knowing?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to, I think, is if she can do the strategy without anyone knowing she's doing the strategy. She mentions Parvati in her little speech, and Parvati was really good, is that because she was doing strategy, and people didn't really know she was doing strategy, and then when they found out she was doing strategy, they didn't care because they liked her so much. So it's going to come down to if she can do that or not. All right. Up next, Charlie Davis, the Swiftie. He is 26 years old, from Manchester by the Sea, Massachusetts, currently residing in Boston, Massachusetts. He is a law student and at Harvard. He is into running, in parentheses, serious competitive running. He needed to make that very clear that he's not into this, hobby level running. He is into debating, and he's into board games. And then he needs to describe himself as loyal, funny, and fun-loving, and competitive. What do you think of Charlie? I have thoughts on Charlie.
I know you have thoughts on Charlie. I wrote down Swiftie King, though I think he's going to be voted out early. Sadly, I think he would be fun to hang out with, but I sadly don't. Well, I don't think you would think he would be fun to hang out with. But maybe if we were playing board games and not talking about Taylor Swift. But he strikes me as someone who the debating hobby, honestly, kind of a red flag to me. I don't know how you get along with people if something you find fun is debating people. I mean, that's just me.
Well, I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt and assume that he means like debate club sort of thing.
I know. I'm sure that's what it is.
Structured debate. But I don't know.
I couldn't get any sense of his game. Sadly, I think he's going to be gone early.
I don't know. I really don't want to sound like a hater, but
yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I don't want to sound like a hater, but just something about this guy, and he's just this I don't know. Everything
something I can tell you what the something is.
It's not even about the Taylor Swift. I don't even care about the Taylor Swift. People like Taylor Swift. There's probably plenty of these castaways that are Swifties. I don't care about that. It was like the Harvard law student talking about the perseverance he had to overcome to get on the track team that really rubbed me the wrong way. And
hey, everyone has their struggles, man. Don't put them down.
I know this, but it's just I don't know. It's just something about this guy, I don't know. It just kind of weird. And so, and then the way whenever I read and copied and pasted his little bio here, where he just says running, parentheses, serious competitive running, is just so
yeah,
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, assuming he's wanting to. It's clarifying that he's saying hey, I mean he could have just wrote competitive running, just write competitive running, but instead he wrote it running, serious competitive running, which almost reads as belittling of anyone else who runs in the world.
It seems like if you asked him what his hobbies were and he said running, and you responded
were
with, "Oh, really? I like running too." And he's like,
"No, you don't."
Yeah, he's like, no.
He was like, "Oh, how far do you run?" And you're like, "Oh, I ran a mile this morning." Oh, that's cute. That's where I just have this thing where I just think I think he's gonna rub people the wrong way. I really feel it, and maybe he doesn't. But there's that feeling where there's a lot going against him, where I think it's just going to really rub people the wrong way. Because he kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and that was 60 seconds. So
added context, Peyton is an avid Taylor Swift hater.
I'm not. It's not a hater.
Take everything
I just don't
he's saying
like
with a grain of salt.
She's just not. It's not my vibe. I don't. I don't get it. It's just not my thing. But you do you. I don't.
Okay, moving on.
All right. Up next, we got Liz. Liz Wilcox is 35. Her hometown is Luther, Michigan, and she currently resides near us in Orlando, Florida. She is a marketing strategist, and she enjoys running, but not serious running. And she likes
Are they on the same
jokes.
tribe?
I don't know. We'll see in a minute.
I hope they're on the same tribe and that comes up.
I don't think they are. I don't remember. She enjoy. Well, wait, what color is he wearing? No, I don't think they're on the same tribe. She enjoys running, telling jokes, and making money. And
That's relatable.
Describing herself, she says she's fun-seeking. Is that a word? Growth-minded and effing capable of anything. What do you think of Liz Wilcox?
She strikes me as a wannabe Audrey, but as someone who... I said Aubrey.
No, you said Audrey.
I definitely said Aubrey, but
no, I promise you said Audrey, and then you're going to listen back to this, and you're going to be like, "Aw, dang."
Well, I meant to say Aubrey.
Yeah.
So she strikes me as a wannabe Aubrey, and sadly, I don't think it's going to pan out for her. That was my first vibe from her.
Did you have any other notes, or was that it?
I said, don't think she's going to do amazing. That was what I wrote in my notes.
Okay. She seems funny, but I didn't get a lot of vibes. I honestly, here's the thing. I watched half of I watched most of these videos a couple days ago. I don't remember hers. That kind of lets at this point. I
watched it a few hours ago and I don't really remember it either.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Liz. I hope you prove me wrong, but right now I don't remember what you said. But
if by any chance anyone who is playing this season happens to listen to this, please don't come for us. These are our
do not be offended.
Our personal opinions.
This is just we know the bare minimum, and we're looking at a singular photo.
I'm sure in real life y'all are all
our opinions will change in a week.
I'm sure in real life y'all are all wonderful people.
Hopefully.
I hope you're not terrible people.
All right. Next up we got, I'm sorry, man, I might make you upset here, David Jelinski. All right. David Jelinski is 22 years old from Las Vegas, Nevada, currently residing in Las Vegas, Nevada. He is a slot machine salesman fitting for Las Vegas, Nevada. He is a fan of sports, specifically basketball and bowling. He also enjoys trivia and puzzles, magic / card games, and organization. They were supposed to put 3 hobbies, and he put 4. He's bad at following instructions. And then describing himself, he describes himself as passionate, confident, and intelligent. What do you think of Jelinski?
I wrote down that he compared himself to Tyson in his preview, which take that what you will, I guess. He thinks he is going to play like Tyson, so we'll see how that pans out for him. And then I said, has potential to go far, but seems strategically dense. I think his own ego is going to get ahead of him. And personally, he just seems like that kind of person. He strikes me as a Drew from last season. That was my first thought was, wow, you seem exactly like Drew. I think he is going to be
but
and lanky. So I think he could be strategic, but I think his ego is going to get ahead of him, sadly, and it's going to catch up to him.
Yeah, he seems very confident. I mean, he did describe himself as confident. So, I mean, at least he's self-aware. But it's one of those things where you can't show it. You can't be that overconfident. It'll bite you in the butt. And so, yeah, he does remind me a lot of Drew, like that confessional. It was not really a confessional, but that promo spot. The whole time I was just like, man, this is Drew with long curly hair. Because he's tall, lanky. He seems kind of on the sort of kind of nerdier side, seems smart. I mean, he says in this he likes puzzles and magic and card games, and like he feels kind of a similar sort of archetype of quote unquote character. So yeah, he feels like he could maybe go past the merge, but it's hard to see him winning. But
yeah,
that's based just off of that little promo. Could be proven wrong, but those are the initial impressions I have of Jelinski. Up next, we have Maria Schreim Gonzalez. Maria is 48 years old. She is from Dallas, Texas, and she currently lives in Dallas, Texas. Her occupation is a parent coach. She enjoys traveling, running, and spending time with her friends. She describes herself as determined, loyal, and resilient. What are your thoughts on Maria?
I said that I think she might be bossy. In her promo, she talked a lot about how like she was really self-motivated and she was like super determined and did like whatever she needed to do to get things done kind of stuff. So I was like, I think she might be bossy, and I think she might be one of those people who gets really mad at other people if they're complaining or if they're not pulling their weight in the tribe. Like if someone like sits down and just like is relaxing, I think she might not vibe with that. She just gives me kind of a little bit of abrasive vibes, almost like Bruce from last season a little bit. Those were the kind of the vibes that I got.
Really interesting. Yeah. I got not as much bossy. I got more because she's a mom, and so I mean, and she's like, her occupation is she's a parent coach, and she is a coach. So I don't. It wasn't as much bossy as it was a parent. So I don't think now I do foresee it may, depending on the people in the tribe, may not go over well. I do think she maybe takes sort of a leadership role in the tribe or a maternal role in the tribe just naturally because she's a mom. I think that probably happens, some sort of a Mama J kind of role in the tribe that just happens kind of naturally. But I kind of saw her going more Mama J than Bruce is kind of the vibe that I got, where it's more of a nurturing and less of a bossy was kind of the vibe that I got. Yeah. And she seems I think that she seems smart. She seems really nice. She seems like she can form good friendships and relationships with people. Like, I think she's going to get along with her tribe generally well. Like, she seems like she gets along with people nice. Like, she seems like a kind person. So, just off of those initial vibes, those were the kind of the thoughts that I had whenever I saw hers. Next up, we have the teacher. This is Hunter McKnight. He is 28 years old from French Camp, Mississippi, currently living in French Camp, Mississippi. He is a science teacher, and his hobbies include building survivor challenges, playing any sport, and camping. And he describes himself as clever, competitive, and adamant, which is adamant is an interesting one.
Yeah, I know. That's a good way to describe yourself.
To list there. So
I like that.
Yeah. So I'm interested to hear the thoughts you have written down there before we talk about this bio, because I also have some thoughts on stuff he wrote here too.
So I don't know why, but I think he's going to do good. I do too. For some reason, I think he's going to do really well. I think he has for some reason, I think I would, I don't want to like, I'm not a bettor, but if I was going to bet, I would put money on him at least making it to the merge. So I don't know why. Something strikes me about him that just, I think he's going to do really well. He seems like a regular guy who seems really smart. And I didn't see the thing about building survivor challenges, but if he knows puzzles and stuff like that, then he's going to be really hard to beat. So
yeah, that's the thing that his personality, he seems like just like a really down to earth, nice guy that people are going to get along with. And his bio has like the makings of a survivor. Like, you read it across the board and it's like, oh, this has got Survivor winner all over it.
I know.
Science teacher from Mississippi. He builds
Yeah.
Survivor challenges. He loves camping.
Mm-hmm.
This is your Survivor winner right here. This is it.
Yeah.
It kind of feels too good to be true. Like I don't think it's going to happen. But it's going to totally hinge on if he tells anyone that he builds Survivor challenges.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't mention it to anyone at all that you've done, that you've built any of them. And I also am interested to know if it's like built a puzzle like Carson did, or if he's built a whole challenge. And we'll see it in one of the first few episodes. I guarantee we'll see it like we saw with Carson. We'll see whatever he's built. But
yeah,
if that's like a legitimate hobby of his, then I'm it could be pretty cool and crazy. So it's very interesting. But he's one of those ones that I'm most interested to see what his game looks like, because he seems like a legitimate competitor.
Yeah, I don't know why. He just seems like a contender. I think he's gonna do well. He's definitely in my top 3 to win this season. Like, just off of first initial impressions off the rip, he's in my top 3 who I think is gonna win.
Yeah. The only other the other thing with all of this though that like I'm having to also keep in mind, and I'm trying to think through, is also everyone there is also having the same thoughts in their mind. And I do think other people probably would identify him as a threat, probably too. And so I worry about him being voted out being a pre-merge vote if he doesn't align with someone on his tribe. So whenever we're looking at tribe, like the tribe dynamics here in a minute, that'll be something to look out for in the first few episodes to see if some of our favorites can form a strong, like a core alliance early on. Because if there's not a core alliance established early on, they're screwed. So, yeah, Hunter McKnight is going to be one to watch in the first couple of episodes, because he's, especially with that building Survivor challenges statement, I'm really interested to see what they show us of that in the first few episodes.
Hunter, if you're listening, we both like you and we'd love to have you on the pod.
Yeah, we should go ahead and just look him up on social. All right. Next up, we have not Maria. We have Mariah Gaynor. She is 28 years old, from Boca Raton, Florida, currently living in San Diego, California. She is a program coordinator, and her favorite hobbies include beer brewing, surfing, Dungeons and Dragons, and those are 3 separate things. Beer brewing, surfing, and Dungeons and Dragons. She describes herself as driven, quirky, and sentimental. What were your thoughts on Mariah?
I said that I think she's going to be an underdog. Something about me just struck her as I think she has potential to do pretty good. I think she could be strategic. My only negative was I'm not sure if people will vibe with her. I don't remember what I watched in her bio, honestly, to make me say that people might not vibe with her. But I think if people vibe with her, I think she could do pretty good. Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. I had someone in my head that I was like, that I had a recent comparison to, that I was wanting to connect to, but I've lost it now. But it was kind of I see her as potentially being someone that I think she probably gets into a core alliance of people early on and rides with them to the merge, and just kind of rides that for a while. And I have a hard time seeing her making really big, strong moves. She doesn't seem like that type of player, but I don't see her making enemies either. She seems like a very kind and sociable person, where I think it'll be very easy for her to find a place in an alliance or in multiple alliances, where I think it's going to be very easy for her to find a place and find spots in votes where I think she's going to be able to make it. I think she could make it far in the game. So yeah, I see her very easily flying under the radar, moving post-merge. She's one that I could definitely I like we're talking about all these people together and we're about to be voting on them. Like she's one that I would like to have on my team because there's a good bet she's going to make it post-merge. And that's kind of our goal, is like we want to have as many people post-merge because that maximizes your odds of having a winner. I think there's a good shot she makes it post-merge. I don't know if she wins. I have a hard time seeing her as a winner based off of first impressions, but she seems like the kind of person that I don't know how you vote her out early. She doesn't seem like she's going to deeply offend anyone. She doesn't seem like she's going to dramatically challenge and like struggle in challenges, you know? So initial impressions, I don't have like strong feelings one way or the other. She seems like a pretty neutral player.
I agree.
Then we have Q Burdett. Q is 29, from Senatobia, Mississippi. I used to live near there. Currently living in Memphis, Tennessee. Used to live near there. They're actually very close to one another, basically. And he is a real estate agent. He enjoys fishing, riding four-wheelers and jet skis, and building houses. He describes himself as brave, polite, and proud. What do you think of Q?
I said I think he's going to do well in challenges. He seems pretty athletic and pretty fit, so I think he's going to do well relatively in challenges. I said that I think he's going to be seen as a big threat, especially if he says that he is a realtor. People don't like salesmen. So I think if he says that he's a realtor, could be red flags for people, because people don't like to play with salesmen who are good at talking and getting people to buy into what they're saying. So I think he could be a potential player if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing him mentioning that, considering he says he was the number 2 realtor in the nation. Like,
did he say in the nation?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said in his promo.
Maybe he knows my mom.
Yeah, he said in the nation. So,
shout out to my mom, number 1 realtor in Florida.
So, yeah, apparently he's a really good realtor. So, if that's the case, I imagine he knows that that's something that is threatening. If he's smart, I don't think he mentions realtor. Like, I wouldn't mention that, period. At the very least, he's not going to mention that he's a good realtor. So, if he does mention it, I don't think he makes it very far. If he doesn't mention it, I think that he might be okay. We'll see. I think that it's one of those things where he seems like he's going to be... I think that he will be a very strong strategic player, and I think he's going to be a very big physical threat. But I also think that he is, to the other castaways, is going to look like the biggest threat on the island. Like, yeah, I agree. I foresee people looking at him as a very big threat. So he could make it to the merge. I think he's a really strong candidate for making it to the merge, because he's going to be a strong asset to whatever tribe he's in. But post-merge, I have a hard time imagining he makes it super far post-merge unless he's just... I don't know. I have a hard time imagining he makes it super far post-merge, because it's one of those things where I think people are scared of him. So it's one of those ones where he almost seems like too strong, just kind of based off initial first impressions. So Q, you look like a beast, but you look like you might be too much of a beast. And unfortunately, beasts don't win Survivor very often. Then we have Soda Thompson. Soda is 27 years old. She's from Long Island, New York, currently living in Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey. I think I pronounced that kind of right. She is a special education teacher. She enjoys singing, with an exclamation point, taking walks, and doing random crafts. She describes herself as intentional, determined, and empathetic. What are your thoughts on Soda?
What did I say about Soda? Hold on. I lost it in my notes. Hold on. Let me find it. I said she seems like a really nice person. She seems like a really genuine person. That's what I got from her little bio and from her short little interview. I think she has potential to do well, but I didn't really get any vibes in terms of how I think she's going to play or how well she's going to do. She honestly just seems like one of those people who's just going to be there. She almost strikes me. I don't think she is similar to Kendra in her personality. Kendra from last season. I think she just has potential to have a sort of similar game to Kendra, as in she just is there but makes it pretty far. But yeah, she just seems like someone who I think is just gonna be there.
Yeah, I think she's gonna get along really well with the rocker dude, Ben, because she likes singing. So they got that going on for them. I didn't have super strong thoughts one way or the other. She seems very nice. That's the biggest thing, is that she seems very kind. It was hard to gauge strategy from her the video that they made. It was kind of hard to gauge if she was going to be kind of a strategic player, if she's going to be she doesn't seem like she's going to be like the most dominant. Like, she's not going to be, I don't think, like a super duper dominant physical threat, but I don't think she's going to be a detriment to her tribe in any way either. So I think she's going to be a good castaway, but I don't foresee her being dominant in any particular area. But I do think, kind of like we said earlier with, who was it? Was it Mariah? Yeah, Mariah. I think that she's going to have I think she'll have an easy time getting into an alliance. So that's kind of how it is for a lot of Survivor players, and that's kind of your expectation for a lot of players early on, is that they get into an alliance and then the game evolves from there. So it's hard to know at this point, but just based on what we've seen, I don't have a lot of expectations right now, other than I think it's going to be very easy for her to find an alliance. Like, I think her whole tribe's probably going to like her a lot. All right, and then we have Randon Montalvo. He is 41 years old, from Brooklyn, New York, currently living near us in Orlando, Florida. He is an aerospace technician. He enjoys running endurance marathons, so it's kind of serious running. He enjoys sports cars and extreme rides / sports. And he describes himself as analytical, persistent, and passion. Not passionate, just passion.
Passion.
And the interesting note from his little video was that his kid thinks he's going to be the first one voted out. And I think that would be hilarious.
I thought that was funny. I couldn't really get a vibe from him, honestly.
Either. It was really hard. Because he talked about being the first boot out, like basically his whole video.
Yeah, so if he is the first boot out, that's going to be really funny. And I'm sorry, but I will be laughing if he is the first boot.
I don't foresee
I hope you're not
being the first boot.
Yeah, I hope you're not, Randon. Something tells me that you're not going to be the first one voted out, because you also have to be the first tribe to lose immunity to be the first person voted out, which you got a 1 in 3 shot to lose immunity at the beginning. So we'll see. I couldn't really get anything from him, honestly.
Yeah, it was his was like the weirdest of the videos, because he really did just spend the entire time talking about how he didn't want to be the first person voted out, but his kid wanted him to be the first person voted out. Yep. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see how he does.
He enjoys running endurance marathons. That leads me to believe he's going to be pretty good at like challenges. So
yeah,
he's got that going for him. And he's an aerospace technician, and he describes himself as analytical. So I would say that leads me to believe that he is going to be strategically minded, and he's probably going to be pretty good at puzzles too. So I think that he will probably be a strong competitor, which also does mean he's a strong candidate to be blindsided. So He's got that going for him, which is a good camp to be in, Randon. You and Q are at the top of the big board for being prime candidates to be blindsided post-merge. So good job on that. Then we got Tiffany Nicole Irvin. She's 33 years old, from Franklin Township, New Jersey, currently residing in Elizabeth, New Jersey. She is an artist. She enjoys painting and photography, and then does eating count as a hobby, she writes. And yes, eating does count as a hobby. She describes herself as curious, passionate, and obviously artistic. What were your thoughts on Tiffany?
I don't think she's going to do very well. She I think I don't know about like the strategy and stuff. I just think she's going to have a really hard time with the survival aspect. She was already complaining about the bugs in her short thing. So
yeah, that was my main thought.
If it's horrible, I hope we have no quitters this season. Really hope we have no quitters. But if we're gonna have one quitter, I think it's gonna be her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that she's gonna quit or anything, but I do think that just based on the vibes of her video, like I think she's going to struggle the most out of everyone with the island.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be hard on her, which in turn is probably gonna be hard on the tribe.
Yeah.
And so that's where it becomes hard to gauge the rest of the game once you see that side of it all.
Yeah. So we'll see how she fares with the elements. We just had an episode talking about the Outlast portion of Survivor, so go check that out.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since season 1. It's a lot easier than it used to be, but you still can't be afraid of bugs. Unfortunately, there are bugs in Fiji, and you still got to survive 27 days. So. Next up, we have Tevin Davis. Tevin is the same age as me, 24 years old. I didn't realize he was 24. From Goochland, Virginia. Current residence, Richmond, Virginia. Occupation, actor.
Oh, we're such children.
Hobbies, going to the beach, listening to music, and fashion/shopping. He describes himself as kind, charismatic, and optimistic. What are your thoughts on Tevin Davis?
I said that he's going to be a big personality. He strikes me as like one of those people who's just going to be unapologetically himself out there on the island. But that's not as much as a bad thing, I think, as it used to be in the game, where you didn't really like want to bring yourself to the game. Mm-hmm. But now I think it's kind of changed, where like the more authentic you are, people tend to like you a lot more, and you make it further. So I think people are gonna. I think his strongest game point is I just think people are really gonna like him. So yeah, that was my thing. But the one thing that I was like, oh my, that's kind of crazy, is that he's an actor. So if he tells people that he's an actor, I don't think people are gonna like that, and I think people are gonna be scared because if his profession is lying to people, not lying, but like conveying emotion when you're not experiencing actual emotion, or like just being an actor, that's going to set some alarm bells off in some people, and people are going to see him as a threat.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that as being a thing that people could think about. Yeah, I like him. He gives me villain vibes, like very much.
He gives I don't know why, but yeah.
We haven't had like an actual villain in Survivor in a long time. It feels like. And
I hope you'd be a villain.
I would love us to actually have a villain again. And he gives me like he could be a villain. Like he could be.
Yeah.
I don't know, but his video gives me villain, but then he also describes himself as kind, charismatic, and optimistic. So I don't know. It would be super cool and interesting if he's able to play the game. If he doesn't let anyone know he's like, this would be so cool. If he plays the game, doesn't tell people he's an actor, plays the game as kind, charismatic, optimistic, and plays up his personality. And in his confessionals, he's playing like this deeper strategy the whole time or something. And he's like, the whole time he's like acting, and he's basically doing this as an acting role. Like that would be phenomenal. That's something that I don't know why an actor, like someone who wants to be like a professional in Broadway or Hollywood or something, hasn't done that before, where they haven't tried to get on Survivor to be able to show like, hey, I can go play a character and fool all these people. That would be really cool. I don't think that's what he's going to do, but that would be pretty insane if he's able to go out there and pretend to be someone he's not for 27 days. That would be really, really cool. I don't think that's what he's going to do, but that'd be pretty epic. So
yeah, I also don't think that's what he's going to do, but I think he has potential.
But yeah,
he has potential.
His confessional is very villainy kind of just vibes. So he's one that I'm just interested to see what happens.
We're watching out for you, Tevin. We're watching out for you.
We're watching. All right, and then we're almost there. We only got a couple more. All right, then we have Venus Vafa. She is 24 years old from Richmond Hill, Ontario, currently living in Toronto, Ontario. She is a data analyst. She has a lot of stuff she wrote here, but she enjoys poker, creative writing, and making short films. And she is passionate, persistent, and sassy. What are your thoughts on Venus?
For some reason, I thought that she gave me D vibes. Something about her just gave me D vibes. So I think she strikes me as like a generally athletic female. So I think she will do really well in the outlasting endurance challenges because she's also just like a pretty like small person. So like especially like on like the hugging, if they do like the hugging pole challenge, being able to like work your feet into those grooves when you're tiny, it really helps a lot. So I don't know. I think she's going to do well. I have hopes for her. I think she'll do well.
I think she's going to do well. She also, I think she's probably a bit of a talker, which sometimes it's hit or miss. It depends on your tribe. Can rub people the wrong way. Like in her little hobby section here, she wrote, this is going to sound weird as hell, but cleaning is one of my favorite hobbies. I don't care if it's not considered one. It brings me so much peace and clarity. Yes, I'm a clean freak. When cleaning would have sufficed, because, I mean, yeah, cleaning can be a hobby. So it's one of those things where, like, I also get you're trying to, like, also, like, show, like, you're kind of trying to show personality in these answers, too. But, you know, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's hard to judge. I do really like her. Like, she was one of my favorite of the, like, the videos that we got in terms of, like, personalities. I think she's, like, one of my favorite.
For some reason, I get mild villain vibes from her too. I don't know if you get sort of villain vibes, but I do.
Yeah,
she gives me like Parvati villain vibes.
I got Parvati villain vibes from Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
From what was her? From Kinsey Petty.
Kinsey Petty.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why. I think we might just call her Katy Perry from now on.
Yeah, from Kinsey Petty. I kind of got Parvati vibes from her a little bit too. So, So Venus, I like her. I think she seems like a fun and interesting character on this season.
Yeah.
So yeah. And her tribe is also just an interesting composition. We're almost two. And then the last castaway we have Tim Spicer. I'm going to be 100% real. I do not remember Tim's video, but Tim is 31 years old from Arlington, Virginia. He is currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. I do remember his. He is a college coach. His hobbies include dating his wife, watching Survivor and Peaky Blinders, and exercising daily, physically and emotionally. He described himself as...
Do you think his wife made him put that?
No, I think he meant it. Like, I think he put it there. Because, like, dating your wife is a date, like, it's like a recurring thing. It's more than just like being married. It's like actively. Anyways, describes himself as goal-oriented, charismatic team player, and strategic thinker. What do you think of Tim?
What did I say about Tim? All I said was I think people are gonna like his personality. I didn't really get much from him, honestly. He really didn't give much. If he wasn't giving, I don't know why.
Yeah, he seems like a nice person, and he seems like he'll be good in challenges, but he doesn't give off the vibe of, he doesn't give me the same vibe that like Q does, where people are going to see them as a super dominant strategic like threat where they need to be afraid of them. But I think he's going to be good at challenges. So I think that he's going to be very helpful to his tribe and be good at challenges post-merge, but not be someone that people are going to be trying to target and get out because of strength and challenges. So I think Tim has kind of that more of a sweet spot in terms of challenge strength ability. So
yeah,
not a ton of thoughts. Cool. All All right. Now we get into the more fun stuff. Tribe composition and the draft. So this part we can kind of go through a bit more quickly because now we've basically broken down all the candidates, and if that's all you were listening for and interested in knowing who all the castaways were, that's all 18 castaways. Now their names, who they are, our initial impressions, and you're ready for the premiere. What we're going to do, we're going to divvy them up, all 18 of them. We're going to have a team of 9 and 9 each, and then we will be able to basically go through this season, and one of them will be eliminated from one of our teams each week. It's going to be really interesting to see how the season shakes out. So the way that we will probably do this is I think we probably just flip a coin for first pick, and then we just alternate from there.
Are we going to alternate or do like 1 and then 2 and then 2 and then 1? All right, so now we're going to start the draft. So how this is going to go is me and Peyton did some off-recording negotiation, and we both kind of mutually agreed that we think Hunter is the front runner. And so there's no really good way to make sure that that both of us have an equal opportunity in terms of getting first pick, since there's 3 tribes and there's 2 of us drafting. So what we decided is, since we both agreed that Hunter is our first pick across the board, I am going to take Hunter and have first pick on the Orange tribe, and Peyton will have first pick on the other 2 tribes. And we're just going to go back and forth, picking first, going through the Orange tribe, and then Peyton will have first pick on the Green tribe and the Purple tribe. And I knew you were going to pick Venus.
Yep. I just think I think that's the easy pick.
Yeah. I will take Tevin.
I knew that's where you're going because I think that's just the next best pick. That was where I was going to go next.
Yep.
Now it becomes, I think, a little harder for me. Yeah, it's tough because
I know who I'd pick.
Yeah. I want to align these. I think I can fit. Can I fit 3 of them in a row? Oh, no, probably not. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take Randon.
Really? That's not who I would have taken.
You going to take Liz?
Yeah, I'm going to take Liz.
Yeah, it was between Randon and Liz for me, but I was just kind of, I don't know, going off of vibes, and I don't know. Randon, I think he's I don't know. I think he's gonna be okay at challenges. So,
yeah.
All right. So
Next tribe.
To start off, Jacob has Hunter, Tevin, and Liz. I'm mad that you got Tevin. Maybe we can negotiate trades.
We can also throughout the season we can make trades. We can put some players on the waiver wire, see how it goes.
Yeah. And then I have Venus, Randon, and Soda. All right. Next up we have the Siga tribe, and I'll have the first pick. This is the tribe that is a little harder for me. I think this is we didn't
really get great vibes from any of these people.
I think this is the weakest of the 3 tribes.
I would agree with that.
I think it's like I'm gonna go Gem. I think Gem is my favorite of these 3. I think in terms of contender, I like her the best here.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I would if I had first pick, I would have picked Gem. So my heart wants Charlie, but my brain doesn't want Charlie. I think I'm gonna go with Mariah.
Okay, I'm gonna take Tim.
And then
don't have a lot to go on with Tim, but same sort of reason I took Randon. Just I think the more dudes who look like they're strong, I think it's just in Survivor. I think you increase your odds.
It's a good bet.
Getting to the merge with that, so I think that's the strat.
Okay, I gotta take my Swifty King. Gotta go with Charlie.
I'm totally fine with that.
This is a vibes team.
I'm gonna take Maria.
All right, Ben, come on over.
I don't think Ben's a bad pick. I didn't leave him because I think he's a bad pick. I just
couldn't get vibes from him.
Yeah, I just think
get a ton of vibes.
I just think Maria gives me more making it to the merge. all I'm thinking right now is who's going to the merge, because that's all I'm trying to do is get people, like, optimize my numbers for the merge.
Yeah.
All right. One tribe left. Yanu, the purple tribe. I'm going to go. So there are
There are a couple
people here that I really like.
Yeah. Yep.
There are
I was thinking
four
the same
that I
thing.
really like, and it becomes hard to decide between those. And I think three that are, I don't know. I think there's four really good ones. I'm going to go Kenzie, though, first, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because I really
interesting.
I don't want you to go there, because I think the other three I'm pretty even on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Q.
Cool. I wasn't actually even on the other ones. I'm glad you took Q, because Banu I wanted. Banu was the one I would have taken over Kenzie.
Really? Well, I wanted Jess, so.
Cool. That worked out good. And then I'll take Jelinski, I guess.
All right, Tiffany.
Yeah, nothing against Tiffany. It's just I don't know. The bug thing is hard. Unless she's overplaying it for the video. But
yeah, it's hard for me to envision her making it past the merge, if I'm being completely honest.
All right. Okay, so we should put all our teams together. Let me make a new slide. I'm gonna make a black slide here at the end, and then one last one. Okay. All right, and here are our respective teams, all lined up side by side. Jacob's on the left and mine on the right, if you are looking at the video, but we will also read them out for audio. Jacob has Hunter, Tevin, Q, Liz, Mariah, Tiffany, Charlie, Ben, and Jess. I have Kinsey, Venus, Randon, Banu, Jim, Soda, Jelinski, Mariah, and Tim. Before we cut this off, Jacob, how do you feel about your team? Do you think that the winner of this season, being unbiased, like, do you actually think the winner of season 46 is on your tribe or on your team?
It's really hard to say. I think, okay, if I'm being completely honest, I think I have stronger players on my team, but I think you have the winner on your tribe. I don't know if you'd agree with that sentiment, but that's what I feel.
I don't know what you mean by stronger.
Like, I think I have.
What do you mean by stronger?
I think generally my players, like, might just be, like, better competitors, like, not like stronger, like, physically.
Yeah, because I think mine's a physically stronger tribe too.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I think I have a few, like, really top tier players, but I think yours is more well rounded.
I think that I agree. I think the winner's on. I think I got the winner. I think that I have. How many make it to the merge now? I'm trying to remember.
10 or 9.
Is it 10?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, a lot.
I think I have 6 of the people that make it to the merge here. I think I have 5 or 6 of the merge makers, and that was my only goal is getting the people that make it to the merge. And something about this feels right. And so, but I think that you also have some of the pieces there too. So, like, I definitely, like, I feel
really good about Hunter, Tevin.
Yeah, I really
and
wanted
Jess.
Yeah, I really wanted like those 3. I think are very strong players. I also think Q is very strong, and so yeah, I think having this conversation and after watching all these, I'm really looking forward to this season. And I really hope that anyone listening to this episode or watching this episode is also looking forward to season 46. And as new episodes come out each week, we're going to do a short little breakdown of the episode, and we'll be able to come back to this preseason review and be able to use it as a reference point and kind of see what our thoughts and expectations were before the season. And that's going to be really interesting to look at and see. So I'm really excited to see how that all turns out.
Yeah,
it's coming up. We're almost there, almost to season 46. And then at the same time, we've still got some content coming out here about season 2 of Survivor, about the Australian Outback, and we're also watching season 3, Survivor Africa, and we will be following up the Survivor Season 2 content with Survivor Africa content as well. So that's all coming out here over the next several months here in 2024. So we're super excited about that. If you're listening to this podcast or watching this podcast on Spotify, we really appreciate it. Or anywhere else that you get audio or video podcasts, we truly appreciate your time and attention. So thank you so much for watching.
And let us know. Yeah, let us know what you think of our tribes. Who do you think has the stronger tribe? And let us know any fun first impressions that you had of these castaways and who you think your pick for the sole survivor is. Me and Peyton both think if we had a choice right now, we think it's Hunter. So let us know if you agree with that, or at least that Hunter will make it to the final tribal council.
No, I mean, the more I'm looking at it, I think it's Venus. I'm leaning Venus or Kinsey or Banu. I don't know. Okay. I think it's my side, bro. So
well, yeah. Let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts and opinions, and if you agree with us or not. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Idle Talk Podcast, and send us a voice memo if you're feeling like it. And we'd love to have your voice memo on the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.